I want to talk for a little bit about the Acts 1:8 project, which is due in just a few days. The Acts 1:8 challenge was designed by several entities in the Southern Baptist Convention, including the North American Mission Board and the International Mission Board. The North American Mission Board housed the materials, the documents, the PDFs, the videos for the Acts 1:8 challenge. And recently, North American Mission Board got rid of that website and is not hosting that site anymore. We had a backup site that was hosting these, and we've discovered that one is no longer available. So now we have the source available to you in web links. If you go in the main menu to web links, and you'll find the Acts 1:8 document. That's a PDF that has an extensive handbook that you can use. It'll have really all you need to know to put together your plan, and also the material that I go through in this PowerPoint will be helpful to you as well. And of course, this PowerPoint was put together by the entities that developed the Acts 1:8 challenge. So you'll want to do that. And essentially, your Acts 1:8 project is about a six-page document that'll be in three parts. Part 1 is introduction of your church. Part 2 is your 4 fields, and your third part is the 8 commitments. On that first part, the introduction to your church, essentially that's just a paragraph describing your church. This can be a real church or an imagined church, but tell something about the size, the context of the church, its mission involvement in a paragraph. Part 2 is the 4 fields of your church. And the 4 fields of your church include your Jerusalem, your Judea, your Samaria, and your ends of the earth, your uttermost parts of the earth. Back to Jerusalem. That's the city or town where your church is, or the location of your church. So in that second part, the 4 fields, you'd need approximately a paragraph describing your Jerusalem, and then a paragraph describing your Judea, and then a paragraph describing your Samaria, and then finally a paragraph describing your uttermost parts of the world. So the paragraph describing your church field will be easy. When you get to your Judea, that's your state and region. Don't just describe Mississippi or Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, or Florida. Give a location or a particular people in your state or region that you're going to focus on as your Judea. It could even be something in your association, but a paragraph to describe the people group, the neighborhood, something about that area that you will focus on. The same when it comes to your Samaria. Describe in a paragraph your Samaria. And this can be something in your country. It could even be something in your same city that is in a very different context from your church community. But a paragraph to describe your Samaria, specifically a target, a people, a neighborhood, not just will reach our adjoining neighborhood, but get very specific. It doesn't have to be long, but get very specific. And then you're into the earth, a people group, a country, a location. There again, a paragraph to describe it. Be specific on this. And again, you don't have to really have these as targets for your church. I just want you to have the experience of putting together an Acts 1:8 plan. The third part will be your 8 commitments, and the 8 commitments are listed there. The first one, well, they're listed as prayer and giving and going, but the first one is to prepare. And here this tells you some ways you can prepare. The second one, and again, a lot of information on each one of those. The second commitment is to learn. The third commitment is to pray. And there are 8 of those commitments. And in this document, this PowerPoint, and also in the document that I have in web links, the Acts 1:8 document, there's a lot of information for each one of these 8 commitments. And what I want you to do is to give some specific ways that your church will pray, that you will prepare, that you will plan, that you will multiply, that you will go, that you will give. And give specifics. Don't just say we'll increase our missions offering under giving. Give specifics. We will try to increase our Lottie Moon Christmas offering by 10%, or we will begin giving to the Annie Armstrong offering. But give some specific steps under each one of those 8 commitments. And you don't have to cover each one of the 4 fields for each commitment, but just try to cover all of them with some of your commitments. So this is really a very simple assignment with 3 parts. The paragraph describing your church, and then a paragraph each describing your 4 fields, your Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and uttermost parts of the world, and then a listing of the 8 commitments and how specifically your church will meet some of those. You don't have to cover every possible way that you would meet the commitment of praying, but give enough specifics so there is some planning involved here. And this document, and the one that's in web links, gives you lots of information that you can just take from here, suggestions for each of these that will give you plenty of information to work with. If you quote something, just put it in quotation marks. If you take something from here, just put it in quotation marks and indicate from the Acts 1:8 document. But this shouldn't take you a lot of time. You have lots of material to work with. It's a very simple 3-point outline: introduction of your church paragraph, your 4 fields, 1 paragraph on each of those 4 fields, and then how you will implement the 8 commitments in your church, and giving specifics. Sometimes people lose points because they just say we'll pray or we'll give, but give specifics on this. And again, this is an exercise. You're not saying to me you're actually going to do these things, but this is an experience in putting together a missions plan for your church. So I hope this will not be too complicated for you. If you have questions, let me know. This is the end of this lecture.